So the point is that everybody's excited. You have a lot going on. On another end, people get anxiety. People sometimes get depressed. People get overwhelmed with things. So what gives? How come there's a mitzvah at hand here, but so many people are unhappy? So many people are unhappy. So I learned this from my Rav, from Rav Yaakov Spivak, and he learned it from his Rabbanim, and his Rabbanim learned it from their Rabbanim all the way to Moshe Rabbeinu, as it is with all people that have Da'at Torah. He says that people have a confused understanding of what happiness really is, meaning that when they look at happiness, when they think of it, when they try to understand what it is, they usually want to connect it to something physical. They usually want to connect it to materialism of some kind. They want to connect it to some type of goal or aspiration of some kind. And many times they reach their goals, but their happiness is unchanged. Sometimes they get joy, but that's temporary. Sometimes they get excitement, but that's temporary. But happiness they never get. And he says that this is actually the curse that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave the snake. The snake, the serpent in Sefer Bereshit, where after Adam HaRishon sinned, and due to the enticement of the snake, Hashem punished everyone, said to Adam HaRishon, from now on, because obviously you didn't listen to Hashem, you ate from the tree of knowledge, you will have to work very hard. You'll have to work very hard to attain comfort, to make sustenance, to make a living, and so on and so forth. And of course, that's pretty much society at hand today. Even the people that are very, very well off, you'll notice that they typically work harder than everybody else. There was a video someone sent to me one time. I didn't watch it, but I remember the title very vividly, where it says that the guy from Tesla, who became a billionaire over the last few years, he's a very, very smart guy, but he doesn't take any days off. He has no vacation. Now, this is not really such a unique thing. Many times, many of the Amazons of the world and the Berkshire Hathaways of the world and the Coca-Colas of the world are led by people that are very extreme. When it comes to taking time off, I could tell you myself. I myself is like that. I haven't taken a vacation in Hashem only knows how many years. Simply because you have a motivation, you have a aspiration, you want to get somewhere, and vacation sometimes seems like it's going to get in the way or delay you. It's not necessarily true. Sometimes it's good to have a vacation and to take some time off. But mentally speaking, it's very hard for certain people to do that. Now, when it comes to Adam HaRishon was told that he's allowed to take a vacation, but regardless of whether he takes a vacation or not, he's going to have to work really, really hard. And the billionaires of today work really, really hard. The millionaires of today work really, really hard. The blue-collar workers, cleaning the garbage, driving the bus, driving the garbage truck, police, fire department, all different types of employees of the government, all these different types of blue-collar people, teachers, and so on, they all work really, really hard. Some have better schedules than others, but nonetheless, everybody works really hard, especially if they want to succeed in life. And not necessarily just monetarily, but just in their profession to attain some level of success. That is, in essence, part of human nature. Chava, on the other hand, Eve, was also cursed. That for her to bear children, to raise children, is going to be very, very hard. That was the curse of Chava. I've never met a woman that had an easy labor. Carrying another human being in your body is never easy. Unfortunately, today, many women that are unlearned about the topic simply decide that they don't want to deal with any of this difficulty of carrying a baby, changing their body, giving birth to a baby, raising a child. They don't want to give any type of time to that, so they simply decide to murder it. But that's only because they are misled to believe that it's not really a baby. It's like a button. It's like a little lizard or something. In their stomach, it doesn't really exist. So next time you think that a baby that's inside the stomach doesn't exist, just put a plastic bag around your face, tie it really, really hard, and just say, no, I don't exist, so I don't need air anymore. See what happens when that happens. It's not going to work out so good. Why? Because you're murdering yourself. No different. Just because you don't see the baby doesn't mean it doesn't exist. But unfortunately, again, this is unknown by society. And there's also one of the things we cover in the movie Tikkun Abrit. And unfortunately, many women, young and older, murder their babies without realizing the consequences of it, whether it's the spiritual consequences of it or even the physical consequences of it. Many times women end up losing the ability to give birth as a result of a single time that they had a apala, they had a abortion. It's sad, but it's a reality. So it's very, very dangerous. And that's carrying a baby also is not so easy. And that's in essence the curse of Chava. Chava was cursed with having a difficult time raising children and so on. On the other hand, the snake was called Arur. Arur is the worst curse in the Torah. And this snake was called Arur, but yet HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to him that you'll be able to eat pretty much anything. Meaning that the snake is going to be able to not work for his food, not struggle for success. You see pretty much snakes are never the type of animal that starve to death. You'll see a lion starve to death from time to time. You'll see a tiger starve to death from time to time. You'll see other animals starve to death from time to time, but you're never really going to see a snake starve to death from time, because a snake can simply eat anything, and that's actually the curse. Why is that the curse? It's like saying you're going to get, on day one of your birth, you're going to get $1 trillion. And HaShem says that's the curse. Why is that a curse? And Rav Spivak, alav shalom, says that the reason why that's a curse is because it eliminates the ability of that person of ever becoming happy. Because happiness is not something that someone can give you. Happiness is only acquired as a result of hard work. The hard work that people run away from on a day-to-day basis is the only way they can actually attain happiness. Whether that hard work is the hard work in their marriage, the hard work in their learning Torah, their hard work at work itself, or whatever job you have. If you want to have happiness in that particular part of your life, you have to work on it. It's not something that anyone can give you. Even if you get a very big salary on day one, you will be unhappy with that very big salary at some point or another. Because again, it's there's a certain part of a human nature that wants to attain success. As it says in the book of Job, Adam la'amal yulad, a person was created to toil. And but in the bigger scheme of things, in the battle for achieving the purpose of life, it's even more significant. Where a person does not know how to attain happiness will simply never achieve it. They can attain wealth and money and still be miserable and commit suicide, like many millionaires do. Suicide, for better or for worse, is a rich man's problem. If you look at the statistics that were done by the U.S. government and other organizations, they said that over 70% of the people that commit suicide are middle to upper class of society. You would think that poor people jump off of bridges, but it's actually not true. It's rich people that jump off of bridges and lose hope. So suicide is not done because you're poor. Usually, it's done because someone doesn't understand how to appreciate their wealth and the gifts that they have. So a person that has money is not necessarily going to attain happiness and could literally kill themselves. A person that is married is not necessarily going to attain happiness, because over 80% of Western society ends their marriage that was very exciting with a very exciting and traumatic divorce. 80% actually a little over than 80%, actually file for a divorce, which is a nightmare of its own. So you have people say, oh yeah, but once I have kids, well, what if your kid ends up being this kid that just killed a bunch of people? Are you still happy that you had this kid? What if your kid ends up being like Adolf Hitler and kills even more people? Are you still happy that you had kids? What if your kid is, has some other type of problem? Are you still happy that you had a kid? It's again, it's not just a easy thing to say. Oh, kids are going to allow you to have happiness. Everything has its cost, and people that understand what they have can attain happiness. As Hillel HaZaken said, "Ezehu ashir hasameach bechilko." Who is rich, meaning who has attained success, who has attained happiness? Someone that's happy with his share. Whatever you have, you find a way to be happy with it. Now, this again is not because what you've attained was given to you, but rather because you've worked hard for it. Let me know what you think, and make sure to share it, because other people need to learn too.